Namaskar. Today it's June 7th, 2026. Welcome to day 86 of Satvik Yogi Path. Each year on March 14 begins my 100 days journey in returning to the essence of yoga towards the celebration of International Day of Yoga on June 21st. This year, I chose to revisit Maharshi Patanjali's Yoga Sūtra and share my daily practices inspired by it. Once again, welcome to day 86th of Satvik Yogi Path, which also means that we are just about a fortnight away from celebrating International Day of Yoga. Yesterday, in day 85, we learned that negative thoughts always lead to sufferings. Always. Today, Maharshi Patanjali shows us the opposite truth, just the opposite of day 85. Yoga Sūtra 2.35 or the 35th Yoga Sutra from the second chapter Sadhana Pad. Ahimsa pratisthayam tat sannidhau vair tyag. Once more. Ahimsa pratisthayam tat sannidhau vair tyag. When one is firmly established in non-violence, hostility ceases in their presence. When ahimsa becomes steady, peace becomes your presence. Let's break Yoga Sutra 2.35 word by word to get a little bit of the understanding of the Yoga Sutra or the aphorism number 35 from the second chapter. Ahimsa pratisthayam. When non-violence is firmly established. Tat sannidhao. In that presence. Vair tyagah. Hostility falls away. Enmity dissolves. So when a person is deeply rooted in non-violence, hostility disappears in their presence. This sutra describes a state of being, not an action. So state of being, not an action. Ahimsa becomes so natural that your presence calms others. Your energy softens conflict. And your steadiness dissolves aggression. Your peace becomes contagious. That is what ahimsa, non-violence, is, which is the first yam, ahimsa, the first ethical foundation of yogic life, ahimsa, non-violence, state of being, not an action, state of being. So what happens? Let's repeat. Your presence calms others. Your energy softens conflict. Your steadiness dissolves aggression. Your peace becomes contagious. Your steadiness dissolves aggression. This is not magic, even though we may think of it as magic. Just the opposite, working just the opposite. This is inner alignment. Remember, this is not magic. This is inner alignment. So, when your mind is free from violence, no harshness, no inner conflict, no aggression, no hidden hostility, your presence becomes a field of peace. And this is the heart of Ahimsa, the first yam, the first ethical foundation of yogic life. Let me quickly give a shout out to Super Freak 214. I'm reading books by Yoganand and Vivekananda. Do you know which one is better? So the currently what I am reading is, I know I would refer to Vivekananda definitely. I also compare sometimes their insights. But what I am also reading currently is Satyanand Saraswati, The Four Pillars of Freedom. I believe that's the name of the book, The Four Pillars of Freedom. But it is, of course, it's in Sanskrit, but it has also the English translation to it, which does not quite captures the insights of Swami Satyanand Saraswati, but it definitely shares far better. It's far more insightful than others I've read, but definitely Vivekananda, I would say, because I do have Vivekananda, and usually Yoganand books are widely read, widely. So I would suggest, if I have to suggest, I would just say you must, if you can, study one by one, because it's so interesting. I myself, when I was in school and we referred to our own school books, and we had few references from Vivekananda's insights. But now I feel that, because this year I'm revisiting Maharshi Patanjali's Yoga Sūtra, and hence referring to different other books also. So it just widens the horizon. So if you have time, you could just begin whichever you pick. And then once you are into it, if you have time, you can also study insights of others. You could try that if you have time. But thank you so much for your question. So thankful. Ye Yeet Hunter 9 Office. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Super Freak 214. Can you tell me if it's possible for someone to achieve samadhi without having a master? I am Brazilian. Super Freak 214. First of all, thank you so much for that question, because that question used to be in my mind before I joined my school and before I had all the different kind of teachers. I had a meditation teacher, I had a philosophy teacher, I had like all sorts of different departments. But what I realized is that even from school, and also by reading thereafter, also teaching, also as a yoga practitioner, yes, you would need a guru, a um, guide to advance to the next level. You would, but you could try as much as possible. You can start reading. This is so beautiful. Uh, Thank you for asking. Thank you. Samadhi, definitely you would let me know how it goes. I would love to hear your insights as well. Sounds like it's going to be very interesting, because it's more than reading a book or following um, a school. It is also how, as a student, or how, as a practitioner, you are perceiving, and then you being an individual, how you perceive, and what, or what shape you give it, because we all are so unique in the way we think, in the way we are. So what you're receiving from your guru, your school, and then how you take it, perceive it, and which direction that you move forward with. So it would be very interesting. I would love to hear your thoughts and your insights as well. Please do share. We should connect. It would be awesome. So it is just that every year I practice yoga towards the 100 days of my yoga journey. Every year. I think I started this in 2018, 18 or 17, I forgot, celebrating International Day of Yoga in Times Square of Manhattan, USA, New York. And but every year on from 2020, that March 14, I started being on a 100 days journey. And this year, particularly this year, I chose to revisit Maharshi Patanjali's Yoga Sūtra, which was compiled in 250 BCE. So this was part of the study, and it's so amazing because I practice and I teach Aṣṭāṅga Yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga. And this year I chose to revisit Maharshi Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, and um, it is so amazing to have everyone join. I have this everyday live streaming at 9 p.m. USA Eastern Time, and just share my practices, and thereby also receive questions, comments, and remarks from all over the world. So this is so amazing. I thank you so much for joining Super Freak. Your username is so cool. I really love that. Super Freak hyphen 214. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. And also Yeet Hunter 9 Office. Thank you so much for joining. Well, Swami Vivekananda brought yoga to the world, to the Western world, I would say, and way back. So, but over the years, yoga has totally taken into a complete, um, everybody came up in the Western world their own version of yoga. And my effort following authentic yoga, traditional yoga, teaching Ashtang Yoga, is why the journey of my 100 days returning to the essence of yoga. And the so called here, the yoga that is being practiced popularly is I call the whitewashed yoga, which which I would say that it's perhaps, maybe the knowledge has yet to be shared. So it's everybody maybe trying to suit their time, their situation, but as a Ashtang Yoga practitioner, this is all I can do, is share what it is. I started reading various things and was amazed by everything I read and am learning about Hinduism and yoga. I wish all these ideas were known here in my country. Well, I had been very fortunate to have some of the amazing yoga teachers from the school, because they never attached any religion to the yoga system. And that's why we had yoga can be practiced. It's universal, anyone can practice. And even my own yoga practices under Satvik Yogi Path, the Yogi Path that I share, which is completely a global way of living with clarity that I practice and I share, and I teach. So it's very simple. It's non-religious, and it's got nothing to do with aesthetics or performance or any ritual. No, nothing. It is simple by awareness, and it is living global way of living with clarity every day, every moment. So I feel it's such a pleasure to be here and share this. Unlike yoga and many other practices from India, where meditation helps people turn inward, here in Brazil, everything is very external to superficial and seems like people don't have a religion. um, pa- PA outdoor couple. I just started a self help method trying to make myself better every day has helped me. Excellent. That is so beautiful. You have written PA outdoor couple. This is so nice. I mean, see, I strongly believe there are so many wonderful people around us throughout the world. It's just that this is amazing that you're sharing this. This is so nice, and I can't tell you how happy I feel. Super freak hyphen 214 PA outdoor couple. This is simply, I mean, all I can do is this. My gratitude to you. It's like that conflict between the material and the spiritual mentioned at the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. And OZN3T writes, boring. OZN3T, thank you so much for joining, for your presence. If you feel that this is so boring, well, that's your way of taking it. So there is no problem there. It is just how you perceive. We were just talking about how the knowledge is out there, but it is it is up to us how we take it. If you if you see it as boring, it is boring. If you see it as enlightening, it is enlightening. So it is on us. It is on you. It is on me, the person who's taking the knowledge. So it's how we see. But I am very thankful, OZN3T, for showing up and writing your comment. Thank you so much. PA outdoor couple. It's a struggle every day, but I love my family and I can't have the best for them if I don't do the best for myself. What amazing thought. That's yeah, that I mean, I can't tell you how happy I am to read your comment. You have already just the thought. We have been discussing over the past couple of Yoga Sutra, the past day before yesterday. It was day 80. Today it's 86, so it was 84th day when we were discussing about the negative thought, how negative thought. Yesterday was Yoga Sutra 2.34, the 34th Yoga Sutra, which was talking about when we have negative thoughts, it just ends up in resulting in lifelong suffering. So the best way to um, not have stop the negative thought is to just cultivate, consciously choose positive, the opposite, not the positive but the opposite. So if it's If it's fear, it's consciously choosing courage. That was amazing. Over the last 2 days, we were discussing about negative thoughts. So this is so beautiful that you write such. I'm so glad that you've been able to join. That is so amazing. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for sharing that. So we'll just move on with the Yoga Sutra. During meditation, my mind becomes like a wild horse. I have to stop fighting with it. I was just reading that you do not have to fight. Let's do a practice today where you do not have to fight your thoughts, which I call attunement, and we can do the practice when our stillness practice starts. So, if you are with me, you can do the practice and learn how not to fight, how not to fight your thoughts. So, if you're with me, we'll get there. So, we have so, to better understand the aphorism, 35th aphorism, let me share a story from our daily life. And it is, imagine entering a quiet library. Even if you were speaking loudly outside, the moment you enter, your voice softens, your steps slow, your energy shifts. Why? Because the environment is peaceful. A person established in ahimsa, non-violence, becomes that environment. Their presence is like quiet library. It naturally calms others. Well, this was just an analogy to better understand the Yoga Sutra, that in the power of peaceful presence, the power of the when a person is deeply rooted or established in ahimsa, non-violence, hostility ceases or just dissolves in their presence. That's the power of peaceful presence. And that is the analogy that we were trying to understand, how when we enter a library, even if we were speaking loudly outside, the moment we enter, our voice softens, our steps slow, the energy shifts because the environment is peaceful. A person established in ahimsa becomes the environment. So, peace is not taught, peace is transmitted. When your heart is non violent, your presence becomes healing. So, we have arrived at the point where we practice the Yoga Sutra. We have a 4 step stillness practice. So, especially for you, Super Freak 214, let us get into our first stillness practice. Okay, let me read your comment. The most beautiful thing I read in Yogananda's book was that his master did something that took him out of his own body, something similar to samadhi. He felt the cosmic presence and said he heard it. Yes, the sound of Om, the vibration. Yes, you're right. The Yoganand, which is in Uttarakhand, I believe it's called the Dunagiri, and I want to ask you, have you been to India? Have you been to the Yogananda ashram? Um, it is, I believe it's in Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand. Yes, I've also read something like that. Something like that. It's the power. It's exactly like how in someone's presence, just the presence, and everything, the environment becomes peaceful. And there's no magic in it. There's nothing, it's not about magic. If someone says that, hey, I'm a yoga practitioner and I do all these magics, it is not about magic. It's very clear. Yoga is not about magic. Yoga is about inner alignment. And those who practice, it's a consistent everyday practice. Everyday practice. And the more we do, the better we get. So there is nothing, not about um, magic or anything, but that's true. I have read that as well. So this, now let us begin our stillness practice. In our first stillness practice, which is steadying our body and our breath. We'll get there. So our first is we name the sutra intention. Today we are practicing Yoga Sūtra 2.35, the power of peaceful presence. That's our first practice. Then our step 2 is we bring one real moment to mind. We think of one situation today where you felt tension or conflict or inner agitation. Real moment. And then we apply the sutra in silence. We ask gently, what would ahimsa look like here? What would non violence look like here? And we sit with a feeling of peaceful presence for few breaths. And the step 4 and the last step is Om. We seal it with Om and Bhavna, contemplation. We chant Om 3 times. It's jap. And as we have, okay, let me read your comment. Can meditation be done simply by sitting with your spine straight? I ask because some people are in hospital beds and may not be able to sit up. You're absolutely right. You don't have to. You do not have to sit with spine straight, or no. If you can, it is okay. But if you can't, you are standing, you're waiting for a bus, you're waiting in line, you can just meditate. Those who are lying down, like I used to have my mother, I used to have my father-in-law practice when they were not in a position to get up, and they would just do it. By the way, let me tell you, my mom was my first student after COVID, my both my parents. So yeah, I no, you do not have to. You do not have to. It's just the mind work. It's as long as in meditation, as long as you're working to calm your mind. You bring your focus to your breath, to your navel. So for that, it's just that if it is a possibility, you sit with your back and spine straight. You your chin slightly tucked in. Those are fine if you can. But if not, it is okay. Whichever state you are in, you can practice meditation if you want to practice meditation. So that's not a problem at all. Not at all. Not at all. They can very well, some people who are in the hospital beds can very well practice meditation in whatever position they are. So it is, yoga is also sthir sukham asanam, which means stability, comfort, and that's your perfect posture. And that stability you gain, you earn with your own way, within your own limitation or your own, the situation you're in, and your comfort. You do not have to go out of the way. You, that will be ahimsa. That will be hinsa, violence, if you go against your body's ability or you are not listening to your body. So yes, they can very well practice. Absolutely, yes. And bhavna, contemplating on peace. Let my presence bring peace. So we can quickly practice stillness of our breath. So if you are seated on a chair like me, I take off my glasses here and back and spine straight. You're looking at a point at the eye level and chin slightly tucked in. Roll your shoulder if you have to. And now, with a smile, which is very important in Satvik Yogi Path, in my practice, bring your smile and you may close your eyes. And now, the first two breath cycle, you just observe your breath, not judging them. That I'm breathing fast, I'm breathing slow. No, you would just breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And now the next two with awareness. You're seated. If you're seated, if you're lying down, you're lying down. And now your hand gently placed over your nabhi or the navel, and you breathe in the two breath cycle. You breathe with awareness that your breath is soft, rising from your navel, nabhi, and you breathe out softly. It falls back on the nabhi, the navel, the anchor of your body, the anchor of your movement. You breathe in, breathe out. And after breathing with awareness, now you breathe, equalizing your breath. Breathing in an equal number, breathing out. And eventually, the next step would be, the final step would be instilling your breath is, stillness of your breath is, steadiness of your breath is when you breathe in and you lengthen the breathe out, the exhalation. And thereby, the best example of lengthening your exhalation is in, can be seen as you chant Om. So the Om is, the rises in the belly, the O moves through the chest, and the vibration that softens at your lips. So let's just chant Om three times. Place your hand gently over your navel Keep your back and spine straight, your chin slightly tucked in, and your smile on. And you breathe in, breathe out. And now take a deep breath in. Om. Take a deep breath in. Om. Take a deep breath in. Om. And you may open your eyes. That concludes our stillness practice. Now, like every day, I have a challenge for day 86. You would bring to your mind one moment of peace into a situation that normally triggers you. Can you do that? That's your challenge. Day 86. You would bring one moment of peace into a situation that normally triggers you. That's the challenge. Excellent. Very nice. PA outdoor couple. Yes, you can. That is amazing. So that's the challenge. Day 86 teaches us that ahimsa is not passive. When non-violence becomes steady, your presence itself becomes peace. And hostility dissolves around you. Before I end today's session, I just want to share PA Outdoors couple that I'd like to share the celebration of International Day of Yoga, which will be held on 21st of June in Times Square of New York City. You could be a part of that, where summer solstice is celebrated every year. And it's amazing. If you're aware of it, great. If you're not, then you could just Google summer solstice in Times Square. If possible, definitely register for any. Throughout the day, there are different classes going on, which is free. So you could join any of the class and just experience the magnificence of the significance of returning. Well, that's my journey, returning to the essence of yoga, and how amazing it feels practicing yoga with in the middle of noise, sound, chaos, in the middle of the heart of New York City, Times Square. So you could just Google and be a part. I will be there too. So that will be amazing. Absolutely, absolutely. And you and your wife can. I've been doing this summer solstice in Times Square for since I believe 2017 or so, 17 or 18. And I try not to miss the event, because also because it's It's my own 100 days Satvik Yogi Path, the journey of returning to the essence of yoga. So that would be awesome, and I'm surely you're gonna enjoy it. And with that, I'll just say that tomorrow we explore the fruit of Satya, truthfulness, which is the second yum, the ethical foundation of yogic path, yoga life. How truthfulness becomes so pure that your words gain power. We are going to explore through Yoga Sūtra 2.36 on day 87 tomorrow. Your presence, your steadiness is the real journey. We meet again tomorrow. I thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And I thank you all for your presence. We meet again tomorrow on day 87. Until then, stay warm, stay open, and most importantly, stay honest to your own story. I thank you from my heart.